Ever wonder what a real cowboy actually wore beyond the movies? It wasn't just dusty hats and shiny spurs. The Wild West was a brutal, beautiful landscape, and every stitch of clothing told a story of survival, practicality, and ingenious adaptation. Get ready to peel back the layers of Hollywood myth and discover the true fashion grit of the frontier. We all picture the lone cowboy in a duster coat, silhouetted against the sunset, but what was really under there? Today, we're peeling back those layers to reveal the functional foundations of Wild West attire. Forget the glamour. This was about survival. The fabric of life on the frontier wasn't silk or satin. It was wool, canvas, and buckskin. These materials were king for a reason: durability, insulation, and protection. Wool kept you warm, even when it was wet. Heavy-duty canvas, often called duck cloth, could withstand thorns, rocks, and constant abrasion. And buckskin, a soft, durable leather, was a favorite for its comfort and resistance to wear and tear. People would layer these fabrics, adding or removing pieces to adapt to the wildly changing temperatures of the American West, from freezing nights to scorching days. And let's talk about the unsung heroes of the wardrobe, undergarments. We don't see them in the movies, but long johns or union suits were essential. These one-piece garments, made of wool or cotton, provided a crucial base layer for warmth and helped manage sweat. Simple cotton shirts served a similar purpose, protecting outer layers from dirt and body oils, making laundry a slightly less daunting task in an era without washing machines. These weren't fashion statements. They were fundamental to hygiene and comfort. The West was built by workers, and their clothes were their tools. Whether you were a cowboy on a cattle drive, a miner digging for gold, or a worker laying railroad tracks, your attire was all about utility. Cowboys needed clothes that allowed for movement on horseback, while miners needed garments that could withstand grime and sharp rocks. The common thread was durability. Style was a distant second to function. This led to a culture of pockets, patches, and perseverance. Clothing was expensive and hard to come by, so it was repaired over and over again. A torn sleeve would be patched, a worn-out knee reinforced. People customized their clothes out of necessity, adding extra pockets for tools or reinforcing seams that were under constant strain. Every patch told a story of hard work and making do with what you had, and the footwear. It was far more than a fashion choice. Sturdy, high-heeled boots weren't for show. The heel helped a rider's foot stay securely in the stirrup. The thick leather protected against snake bites, thorny brush, and the rugged, unforgiving terrain. A good pair of boots was a long-term investment in safety and survival. But the story of Western wear is incomplete without acknowledging the original inhabitants of the land. The clothing of indigenous peoples of the plains and Southwest was a masterclass in adaptation and cultural expression. Their garments were a testament to a profound connection with the environment. They expertly used animal hides, bison, deer, elk along with sinew for thread and natural dyes from plants and minerals. This wasn't just about protection from the elements. It was a sustainable, harmonious way of life. And it went far beyond simple buckskin. Intricate beadwork and porcupine quillwork weren't just decoration. These beautiful, complex designs conveyed status, tribal identity, spiritual beliefs, and personal stories. Each pattern was a language, a visual tapestry of culture woven into everyday life. The clothing of Native American tribes was a rich and diverse art form, perfectly suited to their environment and deeply imbued with meaning. Now let's zoom in on the surprising details and innovations that defined the era. The bandana wasn't just a stylish neck accessory. It was a multi-tool, a dust mask during cattle drives, a sweatband under the hot sun, a bandage in a pinch, or even a signal flag. Gauntlets, or long-cuffed gloves, protected a rider's hands and forearms from rope burns and weather. And the various belts and holsters weren't for showboating. They were for carrying the essential tools of the trade, whether that was a pistol, a knife, or a hammer. The frontier wasn't entirely isolated from global trends either. You could see the influence of European fashion and military uniforms, especially in the growing towns. A banker or a lawyer might wear a tailored suit, a reflection of their status and connection to the more civilized East Coast. But perhaps the most significant innovation came from the needs of the working class. Untold, responding to the complaints of miners whose pockets were always ripping. He partnered with a tailor named Jacob Davis to add metal rivets to the stress points of denim waist overalls. This simple, brilliant idea created a garment so durable it would go on to become a global icon, the blue jean. It was a perfect example of form following function, an invention born directly from the practical demands of the West. So, how does this reality compare to what we see in Hollywood? The movies often glamorized and simplified things, creating a uniform for the cowboy that was more about creating a heroic image than historical accuracy. The truth is, the fashion of the Wild West was far more diverse, practical, and frankly, a lot grittier. Its iconic appeal comes from this authenticity, the story of clothing built to endure. And that legacy is all around us today. The enduring impact of Western aesthetics is visible in modern fashion. From rugged workwear, brands that prize durability, to high-fashion runway collections that borrow its silhouettes and spirit. The utility and timeless coolness of these designs still resonate because they were born from real human needs. Ultimately, understanding what people truly wore in the Wild West does more than just debunk myths. It helps us appreciate the resilience, the ingenuity, and the incredibly diverse lives of the people who shaped that era. Their clothing wasn't just fabric. It was their armor, their identity, and their story, stitched together one thread at a time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the real fashion of the frontier, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into history. See you next time.